So now I'd like to go on to the most important part and why you all came here today, and to introduce to you Robert Navarra, PsyD, LMFT, and MAC. Is that?
Nobody knows what MAC stands for. Anybody know what MAC stands for? Well, it's confidential.
Master of Arts Communication?
It's Master Addiction Counselor.
Okay.
Master Addiction Counselor.
Cool.
I'll tell you about that later.
So he's a clinician, researcher, a master certified Gottman therapist, consultant, speaker, and trainer. His research on couple recovery was published in the Alcoholism Treatment Quarterly and will be included in the Encyclopedia of Couple and Family Therapy. Robert has co-authored textbook chapters with Drs. John and Julie Gottman and articles with Dr. John Gottman for Encyclopedia of Couple and Family Therapy. He has presented his research nationally and internationally. Robert teaches graduate classes on addictions at Santa Clara University. So please join me in welcoming Robert Navarra.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks. The PowerPoint that I have up here is mostly what you have. I've added a few extra slides, sort of consider them bonus slides, because by the time you leave today, we're going to sort of do the underpinning of what couple recovery can look like and how you can take this workshop home with you and literally take 3 interventions that you can work with immediately by the time we're done today. So I thought I wanted to add just a little more detail of what those interventions could look like. I'm trying to bridge the gap as a mental health professional, having worked in the field for 35 years at this point in private practice. I took it off, but the little CAMFT thing, it says presenter, there's a ribbon on there, and it says 35 years plus a member of CAMFT. I want you to know I was the youngest CAMFT member. I was only 7 when I joined CAMFT. And just wanted to be clear about that, but it was 35 years plus, so I've been doing this a while. I've been working in addictions treatment specifically since '87. That about 5 years into my practice, it became really clear to me I did not know how to work with couples in recovery. I didn't know how to work with couples with addiction, or how to work with addiction, period. So I went back and got some additional training, got certified, and then learned about Gottman method therapy, and then all that they kind of collided together over the years. So what I've done is I've taken this research methodology that I started way back in 2000, and I did my dissertation on couples in long-term recovery from Mental Research Institute in Palo Alto, which I'm going to be talking about. And then I started presenting some of this material, and I became very interested in Gottman method therapy and presented a couple of things at Gottman certified Gottman therapist workshops, conferences, and caught John Gottman's eye and ear, and he basically offered this opportunity to collaborate. So the work for the last 5 years has been specifically on training therapists how to work with addiction, how to assess it, how to help couples manage addiction recovery. And then the initial workshop I created was, which we're going to talk a little bit about and give you some of the tools from that workshop, a 2-day workshop that I created for couples in recovery, specifically to address recovery issues. So those are some of the things that sort of set the stage for what we're going to be doing today. So what we have are these goals. So these are right out of the objectives in the abstract you should have gotten in the catalog. So we have 4 qualities and strategies that therapists need to foster couple recovery. There's a lot of misunderstanding and misapprehension about couple recovery. And I'm going to talk a lot more in detail about that. But the prevailing notion right now is that you should not be working with couples early in recovery. It's contraindicated. And what I'm going to talk about is that there's no empirical evidence to support that position. I'm going to briefly talk about the impact of addiction and recovery processes on the relationship. But the idea is that we need to understand there's certain dynamics that take place, it turns out, in recovery. And the Family Recovery Project was the very first study to actually look at that. So we're going to look at that impact as well. And we're going to describe, and I'm going to offer a critique of current approaches in treating couples in recovery and say there are better alternatives than what we're seeing right now. And there's actually hope on the horizon because I'm beginning to see a lot more interest in couple recovery as a dynamic that's been ignored for way too long. And then these 3 techniques, it actually amplifies probably more into 6 by the time you kind of mix and match some strategies, But I want you to leave here with these strategies in place so that you can implement them. Now, the way the structure will be for this workshop is that sort of the underpinnings of all this and the frames of reference for couple recovery is going to be the first half. And then we'll have an hour and a half to go over these interventions. Let's move into a new typology that includes what I call 1+. Partners are coming together now. So 1+ would mean partner 1 has his or her support group and recovery. Partner 2 has his or her recovery. And now we're going to address the relationship. And all three of those recoveries are what I'm talking about.